guys, it's Laura and welcome back to my channel. And today I will be presenting you my first ever reading journal. This video is going to be having 3 different parts and I'm going to separate them so you can choose which one to watch, or if you want to watch all of them, that's more than alright too. As you can already tell, we are starting with my cover page for the reading journal, and then after that I'm going to be making a little and cute and very simple DIY bookmark, and then I'm going to be just telling you something about what I'm currently reading. Some of my most favorite cover pages are the ones that I make as a collage, so I also wanted to make this one as a collage that is consisting of my favorite washi tapes, but also of the washi tapes that I actually connect with reading. I especially enjoy this washi tape that has some type of handwritten font on it, and it is a perfect one for the reading journal. As we are proceeding into this cover page, I wanted to tell you the reason why I am creating my reading journal, and the reason is actually pretty simple. I wanted to start my journey with basically just showing off my reading journal because journaling is what I basically do, so I wanted to connect my 2 passions, and that is a passion for the books and also for journaling. Now on the next page of the cover page, I decided to have a little beautiful quote that is representing my reading and my love for books. And it's funny because at first I really wanted to find an inspirational and beautiful quote that is very romantic and poetic, but in the end I basically chose a quote that is very funny but also representing me perfectly. As we are creating another collage with that quote that I mentioned, I really wanted to tell you more about my reading this year, and I started my reading with a book that you could have seen from the intro, and that is Little Women, and so far so good. I really like it. I am not reading it in my first language, but instead I bought this book in English. And then I also bought a second book, also in English, and it is called Once Upon a Broken Heart. And I will be talking about those books later. I just wanted to tell you that I am already buying books. I'm very crazy about them. And also I borrowed 2 books from the library, so I have a lot of reading to do. That's why the only thing that I can basically tell you is sorry, but guys, I am very booked, and it is exactly the quote that I'm doing here, and I found it on Pinterest and it was too funny and too true not to write it. With this theme, I am also kind of doing a little bit of drawing, and what is different here is that I wasn't pre-planning this. The reason for that is, first of all, because I was lazy and I exactly didn't have the time to do it. And also right now, and as I was filming this, I still am kind of sick, and it's nothing serious, but I just have a sore throat and stuff like that, so I was very tired and I didn't feel like planning or something, but I wanted to make this video. I wanted to make content for you, so that is the reason why I'm still deciding to create it even though I'm sick. But anyways, this is a fun angle to be filming with because I really wanted to show you my iPad as a reference photo and also the way I am drawing in. And it is really interesting because I didn't pre-plan it. I didn't have a sketch, so it could have turned out horrible and I wouldn't exactly know how to fix it. But luckily, I think that the drawing is pretty good and I didn't want to color it in. I wanted to leave it just as it is, so it would give it more like a vintage kind of effect. Now with a stack of books, I also wanted to draw a quill, and that is something that is always reminding me of that vintage kind of vibe where you just write with a quill and by the fire and outside it is snowing or raining, and it is just giving me such amazing vibes. but I really wanted to, of course, make this journal me, so it had to be a bit of vintage, and that is exactly why I chose this. This time the cover page and basically a whole setup is pretty simple, but as I said, I wasn't feeling like myself because of the sickness, so I didn't exactly want to go crazy with the setup, but it is still very easy to recreate and very cute and very practical. I wasn't exactly sure of which items does the reading journal consists of, but I was just following my own self and I was thinking about what I would be really wanting to write here and what would be useful. So that's why this page was basically a wish list. And as I am discovering my reading journey, I am actually finding myself a lot on Goodreads, and I always search for some new interesting and beautiful books that I can read, and then I just put them all on my to-read list. And it's very messy because I have a lot of books and there isn't enough time to read all of that so quickly, and that's why I think that a physical wish list in the journal would be very interesting to really write it down to see someday what I was wishing for, and I just think it will look beautiful here. I imagined this page to be a bit like a bookshelf where all of my wish list books would be. I mean, of course, not all of them. I just put 9, but I have a lot more, of course. I will even link you my Goodreads page and maybe we can be friends there and you can see what my wish list basically is. But anyways, this page is supposed to be like a bookshelf page where each book would be printed out on my thermal printer, and I decided to use the gold kind of color for the printing, you will see, and then each cover would be basically just with one another, and then it would look like a little shelf. If I didn't explain it correctly, you will see very soon, but basically this is how it's supposed to be, and I just printed out some photos and you can see the effect, that kind of golden and glowy effect is just so cool. But I had to use the craft paper because first of all I really wanted them to have this kind of color, and secondly it is kind of a transparent paper, so if it was just on a plain white background it wouldn't look as good as here on the craft paper. And now, as I am sticking this into the paper, I wanted to tell you more about my bookshop experience the other day. So naturally, I was there before, but this time it kind of hit differently because I am very into books and I am starting reading again and I'm falling in love with books again. And I, accept the fact that a book has to be well written and stuff. I believe that a book should also be pretty, and I am a very huge lover of a beautiful cover page. And so I stepped into this bookshop and I was so amazed of the number of books that they were there. I wanted to get lost there, like literally. But what really amazed me was this one section of books, and there were all kinds of books. There were Sherlock Holmes and Emma from Jane Austen and other Jane Austen books, and there were like fairy tale books like Bambi or even Alice in Wonderland. And this publisher, I will show you pictures on the screen, but I don't know, the books are just so gorgeous. Of course they are hardcover, which I really like, and the design is so vintage and amazing. There are even golden details. They are a bit on more expensive side, of course, but they are so beautiful. So yeah, in a way, I really do want to be buying books each month. I don't know how that is going to be possible, but I guess that was in my brain when I was writing down books I bought this month, because I wanted there to be this year, but I guess my brain was kind of working instead of me, and then I wrote the month. But then I tried to fix it with a washi tape and I also added some stamps. And also I want to mention that I will be basically doing one video per month on YouTube just about books and journaling about books, or maybe which ones I bought or which ones I recommend. So please look forward to that and stay tuned, because for me that will be very fun and I hope it will also be for you. Now we have the second part, and that is me showing you DIY bookmark. And what I'm basically doing here is just cutting off a cover page from my notebook, and this one I didn't care for, it was whatever, and it was very cheap, but we need it because it has a bit of a thicker paper, but of course not too thick. And then on this exact piece that I cut out from the notebook, I just put a washi tape and then I attached it onto the paper, and then I cut off the excess. I had to mention this amazing and cool and very easy idea when I was doing my video about how to use washi tapes, because this idea is just so simple and you can really experiment with different types of papers and washi tapes, and you can make however you like. Here you can see that I also made a second one like this with the same design but a bit of a different shape. And on the first one, because it was kind of boring and I wanted to make it pop, I also added some elements, and honestly on the washi tape you can put whatever you want and it will look gorgeous, and of course it will be one very original bookmark. Let me know if you want a separate video on the way I am making these bookmarks, and maybe I can be a bit more creative than this. But I wanted to make a very quick and simple one because now I have a lot of books and not enough bookmarks, so there is that. Now we're just going to test out how the bookmarks are doing and how they look in books, and we're going to move on to the third part of this video, and that will be about what I'm currently reading and how I like it so far. As you can see, I'm showing off this exact book like hundreds of times, but it is a very interesting one and I really like this book. It is very adorable, about 4 sisters, and this book is just a very good start of my reading journey. Next book I bought is Once Upon a Broken Heart, and this one is really reminding me of the TV show Once Upon a Time, and it was a really good TV show for me, and I really like this type of magical but also kind of fairy tale topic, so I really hope this one is going to be interesting. This is the kind of book for me that you get interested in for the title and for design, and also because of the plot, and really the design of the book is gorgeous. Next we have a book that I borrowed in the library, and I don't exactly want to talk about it because it's horrible. It is supposed to be like a psychology book, but no. And the next one is Lessons from Chemistry. I also borrowed this on a local library, and I don't know, I'm very interested in this one as well. I hope you like the way I introduced reading and topics about books here on my YouTube channel, and I really hope that you can join me and we can discuss books and stuff like that. Have a great time, guys, and see you soon. Bye!